So now you also touched upon Afghanistan. Now everybody's been talking about this, but we are really interested to know your assessment of what the developments in Afghanistan will have as an impact on Kashmir.
Interesting, of course. This is a expected thing these days to speak about this, because Kashmir is Jammu and Kashmir. The whole of Jammu and Kashmir is very, very close physically, geostrategically to Afghanistan. If the whole of Jammu and Kashmir, as it exists, would be a part of India, you would actually have a border with Afghanistan. Yes. But since Gilgit-Baltistan is not under our control at the current moment, obviously we don't enjoy a common border. But having said that, Afghanistan is always going to be an area of major interest for India. We are very much, Afghanistan is a part of South Asia, and South Asia is Indo-centric. Indian interests will obviously be linked to the events in Afghanistan. Right. The fact that Pakistan has got great interests there, and the fact that Pakistan considers it as a strategic depth, it's important to understand that this strategic depth is not necessarily only physical in terms of territory. It is also the various linkages it enjoys, the religious and sometimes the cultural affinity that it enjoys with the Pashtun population in particular, which helps Pakistan hugely. But it must also be remembered that the people of Pakistan favor India. They favor India, would always want to have an Indian hand in Afghanistan rather than a Pakistani hand. But it is Pakistan which is ruling the roost at the moment, because the Taliban 2.0 the government of Afghanistan at the moment, well, they resided in Pakistan for the better part of the last 20 years. They are the people who were trained, ideologically trained in the various madrasas of the western border with Afghanistan, when 3 million refugees had come out during the 80s, if you remember, when the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan had taken place. So the affinity between Taliban 2.0 and Pakistan is obviously much, much higher. But to imagine that the Taliban 2.0 will dance to the tune of Pakistan and so quickly look at interference in Kashmir is, I think, a little far-fetched. So although a lot of people are saying that there will be an immediate effect on Jammu and Kashmir, there will be a ripple effect, as I always say, there will be a ripple effect. And among the ripple effects is the fact that the winds of inspiration will probably flow from there. The winds of inspiration essentially mean here that the central idea that the Taliban or Islamists have defeated two major superpowers of the world, the Soviet Union and now the United States. And now, therefore, it is time for Islamists around the world to look at reactivation of their activities to bring about the Caliphate or the Ummah. All this is something which is there in the crucible, but not necessarily immediately going forward. Right. So the effects of this are going to tell on Kashmir. Definitely. There will be a longer term effect on Kashmir. But in the short term, this inspirational aspect has obviously traveled into Kashmir, and an early manifestation has been noticed through actions such as what has happened in terms of targeting of minorities. Yes. But the million-dollar question, which still continues to remain, is whether India should engage with the Taliban 2.0 or not. Obviously, the Taliban 2.0 is not something ideologically different to what Taliban 1.0 was. We have not noticed anything so spectacularly different. Its attitude towards women, its attitude towards education, its attitude towards minorities is almost similar to what it was existing in the past. It's the geopolitics which have changed. And obviously, for convenience, the Taliban 2.0 is attempting to act different. It is not a monolith. There are divisions within, and unfortunately, it is the Haqqani network which appears to be in total control at this time. But there are cleavages which exist there. There are tribal differences which exist there. And we may see in the future some internecine kind of differences cropping up, which may result into some internal turbulence within Afghanistan.
Right.
So this is the situation at the moment as far as India is concerned. For us, the most important segment of Afghanistan are the people. And we must continue maintaining our relationship with the people on a case-by-case basis. We should continue to engage with the Taliban, remembering the fact that there are no permanent friends and no permanent enemies.
Right.
The Taliban has already made access to us, and we already had an informal chat with us at our embassy in Doha through its deputy foreign minister, and perhaps that is the right way forward. Once in a while, interest-based issues can be discussed, but there's no question of any recognition until the larger aspect of this whole issue is discussed by the international community.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.